welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time we're going to be doing a full set of very pretty and classy French nail tips. So as always, the first thing that we're doing is just pushing back the cuticles, and this is just going to help expose the new growth and also help reduce lifting. After that, we're going to go in with a 180 sanding band to remove the shine from the natural nail. I'm also using my Scarlet nail drill, and I'm using it at 5,000 RPMs. As I mentioned in my last video, your speed basically just depends on you what speed you feel comfortable using it at, and also it has a lot to do with the drill that you're using. Again, I'm using the Scarlet drill by Melody Susie, and I'm using it at 5,000 RPMs. We're just removing the shine from the natural nail, and then I'm also using this sanding band to trim down the nails or just fall down the fridge of the nail to shorten them. And that just helps with speeding up, or it helps with reducing time, because I don't have to go in and actually trim them down and shape them up. I can just do it all at once when I'm removing the shine. Alrighty, so next we're going to go in and apply the nail tips, and I'm using my natural nail tips. These are the ones that I have on my website. The website will be up and restocked on Friday, October the 4th. So I'll be sure to leave the link down below, and again, it's going to open up October 4th at 11 a.m. Central Time, so hope you guys are ready for that. But again, we're just applying the nail tips. We're using the KDS glue that will also be on my website on that same day. And the reason why I'm using the natural nail tips is because she actually leaves her nails on for a long time, and I didn't want to do, people don't even use white tips, or I don't think they do, but I just like to use my regular tips and then just go in and just use polish for the white French tip. So again, these are the natural nail tips. Remember that when you apply the nail tips, you want to make sure that the nail tips fit exactly from sidewall to sidewall. You don't want to be in too small or too big, because then you're going to get breakage or lifting. But if you get a tip that's too small and one that's too big, just get the bigger one, just follow it down on the sides and make it fit perfectly. Once we finish applying the nail tips, we're going to go in with the tip cutter and we're going to trim the nails down. And I always ask my client, how long do you want them? And I just put the tip cutter on the nail, and she tells me to either go up or down. And then I kind of just guesstimate the rest of the other nails, and then I go back in and measure them against each other. But once you do nails for a while, you kind of know how to trim them down and how far down to go, and you're able to kind of just determine the length on all of the nails. But again, you do want to make sure you go back in and measure the nails against each other. After that, I'm going in with a straight edge nail clipper, and these will be on my website as well. We're just trimming down the sides of the nail to help with reducing filing time, and it's going to help speed up the process. So again, we're just trimming down the sides to help speed up the time, and this is a straight edge nail clipper. Again, this will be on my website as well. Next, we're going to go in and file the nails. We're using a 100 nail file. We're filing the sides at a 45-degree angle and the free edge at a 90-degree angle. The files will be on the website as well. Again, 45-degree angle on the sides and 90-degree angle at the free edge. Make sure that when you're filing the free edge, you're holding the file really straight at a vertical angle. That way you can see, exactly what you're doing, and you get that perfect coffin shape. And then also just blend the nail tip right in the middle to help the nail tip just look a lot more natural once you apply the acrylic. Alrighty, so after we finish shaping up the nails, we're going to go in with the primer, and I'm using the Young Nail Protein Bond. I just apply that on the natural nail and making sure that we don't get it on the skin, because if they have any little cuts, it will burn them. And for my acrylic, I'm going to be using the Mia Secret acrylic system in the color pink, and we're just going to do that on all of the nails. So as always, the first bead, we apply it right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets, brushing it down towards the tip. Going back in with a second bead, we're going to apply this one right below that one and brushing it again down towards the tip, making sure that you're really gentle when you're doing this, because you don't want to just brush the product off the nail. The third bead, we place it closer to the cuticle area, place it down, pat it down, brushing it down towards the tip, and then cleaning around the cuticle area as well. You don't want any product on the skin because you could get lifting. Next, we're going to go in and just apply more acrylic wherever it's needed, but we want to make sure that we have a nice apex area, so we applied another one right in the middle. And remember, it's really important that you look at your nail from different angles, because it's going to help determine where you need to apply more acrylic. Also wanted to mention that when you're doing shorter nails, you do want to make sure that you work with a little bit more a little less product at a time, because then your nails are going to be too thick. So even if you're doing the 4-bar method, just work with less product than you usually would if you were doing, a longer set. But again, we're doing the 4-bar method. First bead in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets. The next one right below that one. The third one closer to the cuticle area. And when you place it close to the cuticle area, place it as close as you can, but not on the actual skin, because when you place it down, it's like you pat it down and it spreads out as close as it can. And then if you need to, you just go around the cuticle area and clean up. That way your cuticle area is nice and neat. And then again, the last bead, we place it over the middle of the nail, and that's just going to help build our apex. And again, if we need to add a little bit more somewhere, that's totally fine. Don't think that you can just apply 4 beads and not apply anymore. You can absolutely go in and apply more acrylic wherever it's needed. But the only way to know where you need to apply more acrylic is by looking at your nail from different angles, and it's going to basically tell you, like, you know, where you need to apply more acrylic, because you will be able to see if your apex area is too thin or your nail tip is too thin. You will be able to tell. And again, I'm using my Mia Secret acrylic system in the color pink. And for my brush, I'm using my number 10 oval brush by Alpha Brush. I'll be sure to leave the link in the description for anyone that's interested. But you guys know that I love my brush and I use it all the time. Alrighty, so we did the exact same thing on the other hand. Again, we did the 4-ball method. First one in the middle, second one right below that one, third one above it, and then the fourth one over the entire nail to build an apex. So after the acrylic application, we're going to go in and do our filing. So basically the same thing we did at the beginning. We filed the sides at a 45-degree angle, the free edge at exactly a 90-degree angle to make sure that it's super straight. And also making sure that, again, you always pay attention to what you're doing when you're shaping, because your shape will literally make or break your set. So again, 45-degree angle on the sides and 90-degree angle at the free edge, and hold your file super straight, because if not, you will make the nail crooked. Alrighty, so after we finish reshaping the nails, we're going in with a fine drill bit and we're going to file all of the nails. So as always, I start around the cuticle area first, filing from the right side, working my way around to the left side, just going back and forth until you're able to see where the natural nail is, where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. That way you know that you have no product on the skin. And then of course just filing the rest of the nail to make sure that it's all nice and smooth. So again, from the right side, work your way around to the left side, going around that cuticle area, and then filing the rest of the nail. Remember that when you're using your drill, you want to make sure that you use it at a speed that you feel comfortable. You will be able to tell if you're using it too slow, and you're going to speed it up a little bit. And then whatever speed you find that works for you, just use that all of the time. For me, when I'm filing acrylic at the end, I use it at 10,000 RPMs, and that's just what works for me. But again, whatever works for me might not work for you. So it's just a matter of, just trying out different speeds and just determining what works best for you. But we're going to go ahead and continue to do this on all of the nails, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alrighty, so now we're going to go in and buff all of the nails. Remember that this just helps with removing those scratches left on the nail from the hand file or the e-file. So you want to make sure that you buff really good. After this, we're going to dust the nails off and then we're going to wipe them off with an alcohol wipe. And also make sure that when you're buffing the nails, as you can see, I run my thumb over the top of the nail to make sure that it's nice and smooth. And if it's not, I just go in and buff a little bit more. Alrighty, so we're wiping the nails off with an alcohol wipe. So next we're going to apply the polish. The first color that I'm using is in the color Just My Luck by Color Club. And this is the color that I always use as a base for my bling. So we're applying that on both of the ring fingers. And then for the rest, I'm going to be using my Madam Glam Perfect White gel polish. And we're going to do the French tip on all of the nails except for the index finger. We're going to do a full nail of white. So when I'm doing my French tips, I just outline what, my French tip would be, and then I'll come back and clean up my smile line before I cure the nails. And this just works really good for me. The little small cleanup brush that I am going to be using, those will be on my website as well. So you guys will be able to purchase those on Friday. Again, my website will be up October 4th at 11 a.m. Central Time. But again, we're just outlining the free edge, and then the index finger is going to be just all white. We're going to go ahead and clean up this smile line. So again, I'm using just a small cleanup brush, and that will be on my website. We dip it into the acetone and just wipe it off to where it's damp, not soaking wet. And we just go around that smile line and just clean it up really nice and neat. And that's pretty much it. Alrighty, so we're cleaning this up and then we're going to go ahead and cure it for 30 seconds under my Sun X UV LED lamp. And we're going to do the exact same thing on the other hand. So again, we're doing Just My Luck on the ring finger. And then on the rest, we're going to do the Perfect White. We're doing the French tip on the pinky, middle finger, and thumb. And then the index finger is going to be all white. After that, we're going to cure them for 30 seconds. And we're going to do a second coat on both hands and curing for 30 seconds as well. And whenever you come back in to do the second coat, we're just going to retrace that French tip that we already have. We just want to, of course, make sure that we have nice coverage on all of the nails, which is why we come back and do a second coat. Alrighty, so we did 2 coats on both hands, and then we're going to go ahead and cure this one, and we're going to move on to the bling. So I'm using the Soleil nail adhesive. We apply that on the nail, and then I'm using my wax pencil, my SS6 and my SS12, and we're going to apply that on the entire nail. Remember that when I apply my bling, it's basically like a little puzzle. I just alternate between the 2 different sizes, and then I just, you know, continue that pattern until I fill in the entire nail. But it's like we're just filling in the gaps as we go. So again, we just apply the Soleil nail adhesive, and then we apply the bling, and then once we apply the bling, we go back in and spray the nail with the Mia Secret Gel Resin Activator, and I'll be sure to leave the link in the description to her website. Alrighty, so once we have that ring finger done, we're going to go ahead and apply some bling on the index finger as well. We're just going to be applying some around the cuticle area on this one. So same thing, we applied the gel resin, and then we're going to spray with the activator, and after that we can go in and apply the top coat. Alrighty, so for the top coat, I'm using my Nail Supply Glamour Diamond Gel. I got it not too long ago, and I really like it. I usually use my IBD Gel Top Coat or the Madam Glam Gel Top Coat, or this one. It's kind of just whichever one I pick up first from my drawer, but they all work really good. So again, we're going to apply the top coat, and then we're going to cure for 60 seconds, and we're going to do the same thing on the other hand. Alrighty y'all, so here is the final look. They turned out very pretty and she is definitely ready to be a beautiful bridesmaid. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at GetKnow32, and I'll see you guys next time.